Oh, what is this?
Hello, Mr. Washington. I can't believe you answered my call.
Who doth this be?
My name is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and I'm a congresswoman from New York of the Democratic Party.
A party? I thought I warned that political parties may now and then answer popular ends. They are unlikely in the course of time and things to become potent engines by which cunning, ambitious, and unprincipled men will be able to subvert the power of the people and to usurp themselves from the reins of government, destroying afterwards the very engines that have lifted up them to unjust dominion.
Well, I know you are not up with the times, so I think you should invite me over, and we can discuss the parties and issues we Democrats fight for.
I believe that people should associate yourself with men of good quality if you esteem your own representation, for 'tis to be better than alone than in bad company. This means that if I want to truly understand the parties, I need to invite over both sides and figure out who, if there is a merit to a side, to align myself with, or if I was right in valuing individuals over parties.
While there is a lower class, I am in it. While there is a criminal element, I am of it. And while there is a soul in prison, I am not free. Even from prison, I will work and run my presidential campaign. The Socialist Party needs me to push out our agenda, and I will work tirelessly for workers' rights, even from jail.
Can you just shut about socialism already, man? It's like you're obsessed or something. I just came here to give you this letter, and then I'm gonna get out of here while you spin some other weird tales. Show it to your bunkmate, too.
I would rather 1,000 times be a free soul in jail than to be a sycophant and coward in the streets. Give me that letter. Maybe someone who actually cares about me is trying to reach out.
Doubt it, but whatever.
Eugene, I know we have never met, but I hope you are doing well. I have recently been learning more about communism and think you're a great source to ask. Emma is invited too.
Socialism, but with others. And anarchism.
I'm inviting you to my humble abode at approximately 6:30 this evening for a dinner party. I know you're in jail, but I'm sending over this plastic spoon for some hope you two can break out in time. See you soon, George Washington.
I have a feeling I'm not going to get along well with this guy, but intelligent discontent is the mainspring of civilization. Progress is born of agitation. It is agitation or stagnation. We must go now. Time to get digging. Politicians promise you heaven and give you hell. This better be real.
You're a communist. I hate you.
Mr. Nixon, there's a caller wishing to speak with you now.
The press is the enemy.
No, not the press. He actually sounds an awful lot like George Washington, but I think that's a little far-fetched.
That's so random. I'll take it. Hold on a second, Joseph. Yeah. I'm kind of in the middle of something all day, but I can try to get over there. All right, goodbye. You have somewhere to be. Tell them we need a continuation, but duty calls.
I don't ask any questions, I guess. Can I just drive to where we're going?
You're literally hammered. No, I'll get the driver.
Alright, sounds good.
It's time for an American revival. A revival of our country, church, and our mindset. The hardworking people of America have been abused for too long by our corrupt government, told what to think by our arrogant media, and led astray by our evil culture. It's time. We must fight the stronghold of the fake media and take back our country.
You come with me. I need you for my party.
Wonderful news. We should always preserve our history. I would love to join you.
She's not even questioning his interaction at all. Crazy.
Respectfully, George, your house is falling apart. What time are we all in right now?
Whatever time you want it to be, sweetheart. Who are you? What's going on? How'd you get here?
I don't need an introduction. Let's eat.
For reasons unknown, the great author has brought us all together, despite the limitations of time.
Wait, great author. Are we allowed to break the fourth wall?
I'm talking about God.
God has created a kingdom so despotic, so tyrannical, so cruel, so terribly exacting, that naught but gloom and tears and blood have ruled the world since gods began, Mr. Washington. There is no God.
Let's get down to business. I gathered you all here to talk about communism and the second Red Scare. I was chilling in heaven when I observed our corrupt government ruining the lives of noble American citizens. I could hardly wait to ask anymore. So, is it true? Are all communists pessimistic atheists?
Yes!
Pause. That's so rude. I think of myself as a very optimistic young man. Plus, communism is cool. Just ask my buddy Marx.
Is that red on her plate? The evil, blinding color of communism? Are there communists amongst us? Today, we are engaged in a final all-out battle between communistic atheism and Christianity.
The meaning of peace is the absence of opposition to socialism. As socialism grows, religion will disappear. Cheers, Miss AOC.
Religion and morality are the essential pillars of civil society. Wait, why are we talking about socialism? I thought we were discussing communism here.
Well, at least for me personally, I use them interchangeably. Socialism is compatible with democracy and liberty, whereas communism involves creating an equal society through an authoritarian state which denies basic liberties.
Communism sounds intense.
Communism is now on everybody's lips. Some talk of it with the exaggerated enthusiasm of a new convert, others fear and condemn it as a social menace. But I venture to say that neither its admirers, the great majority of them, nor those who denounce it have a very clear idea of what communism really is. The radicals on both sides are taking this way too far.
Everybody, slow down. It appears that communism poses a threat to our democratic way of life.
Exactly. Communism denies God, enslaves men, and destroys justice. You know, it's funny for you to argue that communism destroys justice when it actually brings justice to society, evening out the difference between the haves and the have-nots. You are horrified at our intending to do away with private property. But in your existing society, private property is already done away with for 9/10 of the population. Its existence for the few is solely due to its non-existence in the hands of those 9/10.
Mr. Washington, these communists have invaded our party. They're trying to turn a great party full of well-faith American men into Soviet robots who will lead to the fall of this great meal.
Society as a whole is more and more splitting up into two great hostile camps, into two great classes directly facing each other.
People like you are ruining America. We will find every one of your ideals and forbid them from infiltrating our country.
The government tried that already. Remember the Palmer raids? I'm currently living through them. Me and Goldman were just locked in jail for our beliefs.
I have here in my hand a list of names that were made known to the Secretary of State as being members of the Communist Party and who are nevertheless still working and shaping dangerous conversations at this table.
You can't just say that every time you're in political trouble. You were just a little-known senator. You literally switched parties because you didn't get enough votes the first time you ran. Pathetic. You wanted to use the communism hysteria as an excuse to make a name for yourself. You are hurting the American people in your plot for political gain. Even the children are getting hurt. After a detailed analysis concerning the further impact of the Cold War Red Scare on the New York City schools, which is a pall of orthodoxy over the classroom, Haynes concludes her book by warning about several more recent Supreme Court rulings that might foreshadow a retreat from the strong endorsement of academic freedom. Are you seriously putting your political career over the future of our country and the legitimacy of the academics as a whole? We have to stick to the message. What are we proposing to the American people? Not what are we fighting against?
That is a lie. Our job as Americans and as Republicans is to dislodge the traitors from every place where they might have been sent to do their traitorous work. I was elected to this position as a member of the Republican Party, and I am just doing what my voters voted for me to do.
McCarthy is a disgrace to the democratic system. I'd rather vote for something I want and not get it than vote for something I don't want and get it. Clearly, those in Washington are different. They value themselves over their country. I could never. I would rather run as a communist than change my morals to be elected.
Your doom is a wobbly. He was actively trying to undermine capitalism.
A wobbly?
An industrial worker of the world. He was trying to raise wages.
The Wobblies killed people.
Those who have not yet achieved that goal fight bloody revolutions to obtain it.
What are you even talking about? What spiked such a vicious controversy over communism?
G-dubs, have you been living underneath a rock?
Yes, actually. I have been laying 6 feet underground for some time now, so I'm a little bit out of the loop.
Well, the Second Red Scare, from 1947 to 1957, raised serious concerns over communism. Domestic and foreign communists threatened our American way of life. To prevent the downfall of American democracy, brave politicians such as myself and McCarthy aimed to expose corrupt communists.
No, that's all wrong. First of all, our fear of communism in foreign Asian countries was founded on racist beliefs. American politicians believed in the domino theory. If one country in Asia were to fall to communism, we believed that the others would adopt the same political ideals. This belief is based on the racist idea that the Asian countries are all the same.
They are.
You racist. You're a drunkard. You...
Geez Louise, this is getting too heated. My plan for a cordial, informative dinner party is ruined. Democracy is doomed. I need to step outside.
It is better to be alone than in bad company. This country has gone to shambles. Not only do we have political parties, but we have accusations in our government. No one can trust anyone else these days, and the country is going to shambles, I tell you. I tell you shambles once again. I really do not know if I believe that communism has swept through this country to the credit of Nixon and McCarthy, or if they're over-radicalizing the situation for their own political gain. Alas, both sides will never falter. It is kill or be killed, a gridlock. This is bound to ruin our once great democracy. Oh, if only Mother could see me now.
The challenges imposed by communist liberals are absolutely absurd. Communism is seeping into our country and threatens our American way of life. Communism is so dangerous that we must have armed guards and trained and or armed teachers at schools to protect our children from being brainwashed by communists.
Whoa, slow down.
You're thinking way too radically right now, Marge.
You're calling me radical, and you're calling me Marge? Your entire belief system is radical and insane.
If I may, communism saves. It saved me. When I was in jail thinking about all the good and bad things I've done, I couldn't help but ponder unique government structures. I did a little reading from a book my warden gave me, and it was actually Mr. Marx's manifesto, 10 out of 10. I soon got out of jail, returned back to my failing labor union, and spread my communist ideas safely around my friends.
I hate to say this, but I love rooting for the underdog. What were your ideas?
Oh, Marge, you're in for a treat. Although a tad ironic, since I started a labor union and all that jazz, I actually hate labor strikes. They seem counter-effective. If we're trying to band together just to get shut down, what's the point? Also, while we're on the topic, sharing is caring. Let's talk resources.
Yawn.
Enough. I'm really passionate about this, alright? You're the one who's to hear it, you dinosaur. You called this meeting. If I want to talk about communism, then I will.
You know what? Freedom of speech is overrated when it comes to communism and communism alone. When it comes to speaking out against temperance, I'll let it slide. But let's just call it a night, alright? I'm starving, and all I've seen on the table so far is a red pepper. Are we just glazing over the fact that I was called a dinosaur by this fool? Eugene, you...
Feel my wrath, founding father.
Oh, great heavens! Democracy is doomed!
Did I just kill him? Am I gonna get more jail time? Yo, Mark, so you got another book I can read?